from Utah's first TV station, ABC4 News celebrates 75 years.
And welcome to the ABC4 News at 10 o'clock. I'm Emily Flores.
And I'm Glenn Mills. Thanks so much for joining us. We do begin tonight with a look at Big Cottonwood Canyon, where it has been snowing for hours. We've had some light showers on and off today in the valley, but the question, are we going to see more heavy rain and snow anytime soon?
All right, for that, let's head over to Chief Meteorologist Alana Brophy for a look at conditions. And I know we have to be so careful driving, but that was such a pretty shot.
It is a pretty shot, but those cold surface temperatures means that icy conditions right around the corner, especially with the lightest precipitation. We are seeing some heavier moisture down there in the southern portion of the state. That's where the core of this moisture with the storm system really will impact. You can see on the storm tracker radar exactly where we're picking up those echoes of moisture. Let's jump down and zoom out just a little bit so you can see in and around the southwest corner of the state and in northern Utah. Okay, let's get a little closer here. Cache Valley has been seeing light snow. We see it on the cameras. We know it's on the surface, so icy conditions expected there. Ogden and Weber County definitely picking up some light snow. We watched it through the evening hours, had some reports on social media of about an inch. The western end of the Great Salt Lake definitely dealing with some moisture. Now, not too many people live there, so that's why you don't hear a tremendous amount about it. In Salt Lake County, we've seen drier conditions, and we do anticipate just light showers in that arena. Okay, getting a little closer down south, I-15 from Beaver all the way through Cedar City, where the cameras have been steadily picking up that snow coming down and some rain in and around St. George. It is soggy down there in St. George, so a heads up. We've seen that there's plenty of wet weather. Bryce Canyon snowing through the last several hours, and there's that live view here showing that snow coming down. This is one of the areas under that winter weather advisory. That was actually expanded today. It's not just the central and southern mountains anymore. It does include Millard and Juab County, as well as the Sevier River Valley and Grand Staircase. So heads up there over towards Kane County as well. This just means we're looking at wintry travel as we deal with accumulating snow. When it comes to travel, there are some areas that are going to see it a little trickier than others, and it's really the western side and I-15 from Delta all the way down to Cedar. You can see in red, we are expecting periods of road snow. Even the higher elevations of Washington County could see that. Road slush in yellow. This storm system is on the move. Where it's headed and what to expect for the close of our work week coming up in my full forecast. Glenn, Emily, over to you.
Thank you, Alana. A message of overcoming fear and choosing hope for the future of Utah. Governor Spencer Cox delivering his State of the State tonight, not only to the media and the state legislature, but also some of his smallest constituents.
ABC4's Courtney Johns joining us live from the Capitol to explain it all. Courtney.
Yeah, Emily, for the first time ever, elected leaders were able to bring their children to the House floor to listen to Governor Cox's State of the State speech. And much of that speech was actually directed towards those kids. Starting off as a family affair, Governor Cox speaks as a father.
I did promise her I would try to limit the number of dad jokes tonight.
And comparing past generations' concerns, like the ozone layer,
We discovered that great hair comes at a great price,
to the troubles of today.
I believe that God can fill the lake. But if not, then we must.
Saying he will not let the Great Salt Lake disappear, proposing an additional $500 million in water conservation, as well as investing in education.
We can also give every teacher the largest raise in our state's history.
Adding, having the best teachers in the country won't matter if young people can't find affordable housing.
We'll make certain that Utah does not become like California, and that the future generations will be able to call this state home.
And highlighting a healthy home life by proposing a first-of-its-kind tax credit for all children.
The born and the unborn.
With more support for mothers.
We must also expand postpartum Medicaid coverage to 12 months.
Delivering a State of the State address in the youngest state of the country to the youngest audience ever. Cox says the future is bright, with a message to anyone who says the next generation is worse off than their parents.
My message is simple: not now and not on our watch.
Telling these tykes.
And I trust the state of our state, which has never been stronger than it is today,
to have faith.
Will one day reach even greater heights in your capable hands.
Governor Cox also talked a little bit about social media and his concerns, saying there are some negative effects that we're seeing on children, something that we've been hearing a lot the last week. He also had a message to these social media platforms saying that Utah is ready to fight if they're not willing to come to the table with a solution. Reporting live at the Capitol, Courtney Johns, ABC 4 News.
All right, we thank you, Courtney. Now, it's customary for the opposing party to respond to the governor's State of the State address.
Yeah, tonight, Utah Democratic leaders issuing their thoughts on how lawmakers should tackle some of the key issues the governor spoke about.
It's been a season of big change, and we are excited to get to work, serving our communities and families across Utah.
We are excited about our new leadership teams. With new leadership, we have achieved not only the first all-female House and Senate teams, but also another first, Latinas as minority leaders in the Utah State Legislature.
Together, as Democrats, we're committed to taking stands for our constituencies, democratic values, and common sense solutions to bring forth good public policy.
Today, our state is facing more challenges than ever, and it is critical we take steps now to address our most pressing issues: water conservation, domestic violence and sexual assault prevention, housing and homelessness, tax cuts, education, and access to health care will be the focal point of our caucuses during the 65th legislature.
For many years, Democrats have sounded the alarm about the water crisis in Utah. During this time, we have consistently worked alongside stakeholders to propose legislation that will create a plan to ensure our water future. We know this affects everyone in the state, but we particularly are concerned about the agriculture industry, an essential part of our rural communities. We need to act with greater urgency, use technology to find solutions, and lead with a spirit of innovation. Due to the combined impacts of climate change and lack of action, immediate commitment is essential before the Great Salt Lake disappears. Democrats will continue to be part of the solution, and we're excited for what's next. The work ahead to strengthen the statewide response to support our unsheltered families and communities must continue to be a priority. Each of our communities bears a responsibility to ensure nobody is left out in the cold. We must provide adequate shelter, space, and wraparound services for those experiencing homelessness. As Democrats, we will continue to advocate for housing solutions that are affordable and practice intelligent, forward-thinking community planning and development.
2022 continues to highlight the challenging circumstances of home ownership and the housing crisis, particularly for our young workforce and families. Skyrocketing prices and a shortage of available units have pushed too many people out. We need to take action to provide more affordable spaces for families to place down their roots.
And coverage should go beyond housing. Better access to affordable healthcare is a critical need for everyone, particularly for our children. Utah ranks 46 in the nation when it comes to insuring children, and an estimated 82,000 of them in our state are uninsured. This is a 39% increase since 2016, the highest in the nation. It is vital that all of our children and their families have access to high-quality preventive medical care. When this access is provided early on, it sets up our kids for success and helps significantly reduce the uncompensated care that we all bear a burden of.
Our public education system, including our public charter schools, are a critical cornerstone of our state and our economy. We all agree, teacher pay is priority. We also feel strongly about small classroom sizes, full-day kindergarten, and increasing social support in our schools for our children to succeed. As Democrats, we will continue to firmly oppose vouchers and other proposals that undermine and erode our public education system.
Utahns deserve a state government and state budget built for and by the people. Investment in our state's future not only takes deliberate forethought, research, and careful planning driven by data, but it also takes compassion and a diverse understanding of the needs of all Utahns. As inflation and a looming recession continues to weigh heavy on working families in our state, Democrats will advocate against impulsive tax cuts. Democrats seek to provide meaningful relief and investment to uplift everyone.
As Democrats in our Utah State Legislature, we believe everyone deserves the right to feel like they belong and are valued.
And not simply just belong, but have the opportunity to live their life with dignity and respect for them and their families.
Together, we commit to continue building a foundation in Utah that unites us, one that re-energizes our priorities on equal opportunity for all.
One that emphasizes the importance of strong communities and supports all families.
One that provides adequate health care and empowers the stewardship of our public lands and environment.
One that represents the voices of all Utahns.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, and in other news tonight, a traffic alert to let you know about a major road project hitting a milestone this weekend, and it could interrupt your travel. Here's an animation from UDOT showing what this weekend's work will look like. Construction workers will be lifting 4 massive beams over parts of Legacy Parkway and putting them on top of columns. The beams will make the West Davis Corridor Farmington interchange. UDOT says it's shutting down southbound Legacy between Farmington and Parish Lane all weekend starting at 10 p.m. Friday. The closure all to protect drivers.
These beams they're large, they're heavy. Each one of them weigh 99,000 pounds. That's the equivalent of 20 pickup trucks.
Safety first. All right, UDOT saying the inconvenience now and over the next few weekends will mean much more convenient travel for drivers in Davis County. That road will open back up Monday at 5 a.m. for the morning commute.
Coming up, the aftermath of severe California storms. We'll show you before and after photos of the damage and President Biden's trip to the Central Coast to assess the devastation.
And the snow keeps coming. This is a live view of Iron County, where we know the temperatures are in the 20s and precipitation does not want to wane. We're going to look at the heaviest snowfall and how much to expect coming up in my full forecast in just a few minutes.